The court hearing into Manchester City's 115 charges is set to end before the end of the year, but how will it impact Manchester United? Jason Wilcox and Omar Barada, formerly part of Manchester City. 9 players could be out injured ahead of the Brentford game, and a lot of them are regular starters. What is the latest on the injury front? Chelsea are rattled by United and Liverpool scouts going to their game, so they've tried to break the rules and ban United and Liverpool scouts from attending their games. We'll get into more detail on that. What is the latest transfer plan in terms of January sales? There was a rumour of Maguire being up for sale in January. That is not the case. And then Paul Pogba speaks out about United, what really went on behind the scenes, his relationship with Jose and Oli. Then we will dive into some more news that Eddie Howe is open to the Manchester United move. Is there any truth in that? Why rivals are not happy with Manchester United, and the manager list, which I'm not a big fan of, that apparently we're now looking at if Ten Hag is sacked, although it hasn't come out from the most credible source. So guys, please do hit that like button. Of course, subscribe down below if you're new. Share the video as well. We're so close to 95.2k. I think we're only 1 away at the moment. But let's dive into this first story, which is about Manchester City and Manchester United. Manchester United are confident that neither Omar Barada nor any other City staff recruit will be implicated in 115 charges, said Disco Mirror. It was then said later on today that Manchester United are confident that neither Omar Barada nor Jason Wilcox will be implicated in Manchester City's legal battle with the Premier League over allegations of financial irregularities. So, obviously, Manchester City, 115 charges. They'll probably get away with it because, money talks. But, is that going to impact Barada because he was a big part of that? Is that going to impact Wilcox? United do not think so. A verdict on Manchester City's 115 charges is expected by the end of the year, was said. This has nothing to do with United, but I thought it was a bit of interesting news to give context to the story as well. That sources close to Pep Guardiola believe that if Manchester City are found guilty and severely punished due to 115 charges, it would make him more likely to sign a new contract out of defiance, not leaving the club he has come to love in a difficult spot, apparently. I don't know, though. I think he'd probably leave if they were guilty, if I'm going to be totally honest. Depends what the punishment is. Continuing on into injury news. So United Menace has come out and said that Maino's out for 4 weeks. Now, this guy is not a recognised journalist or not a recognised source, but this guy is someone that's told us this person will be out injured. Then the next day, the Athletic confirmed this player's injured. This is the guy that has probably been right 90% of the time, I'd say, when he comes out with information about a player being injured. And he is saying that Kobbie Mainoo is set to miss 4 weeks through injury. We also know Agate came off injured on international duty and is now a doubt for the Brentford game. So the injuries, sadly, are piling up a little bit inside Manchester United. If we look at the injury front here, there's Lenny Yoro, who's expected back in November, hopefully before the international break, but United do not want to rush him, so we might not see him until after the international break. Malassi is a few weeks away, Shaw's a few weeks away, Maynard is to be out for 4 weeks, Mazraoui rumoured to be out for 4 weeks, could be less though. Agate return date unknown, he might miss 1 or 2 games, they haven't assessed that, it could be a hamstring issue, but this is a guy that doesn't get injured in his whole career. Agate comes to United, he might have picked up an injury. Garnacho, it's sort of unknown. It's expected that he'll probably be able to play versus Brentford, but we know he didn't go on international duty because of injuries. The same with Ahmad. It's expected he will be able to play versus Brentford, but it's just one of those. And then Mount, is it could be back for the Brentford game. So those 3 at the bottom could be back, but that could be up to 9 people missing from the Brentford game, which is ridiculous. I feel like the injuries are starting to creep in again, and hopefully, we rotate more and we don't get too many injuries. I think fullback is the biggest issue when it comes to injuries. I would like to see Harry Amos given a chance at this rate, because I'm not the biggest fan of playing Lindelof at fullback or Evans at fullback as well. But hopefully nothing more serious and we don't pick up any more injuries along the way. But if Agate and Mainoo are injured, I would probably say Mount, Bruno, Casemiro maybe in midfield. I don't know. I don't know, because Brentford is a game where you need a lot of energy, and I don't know if that's the game for Eriksen. I don't know if that's the game for Eriksen and Casemiro. But let's talk about Chelsea being salty with Manchester United and Liverpool. Scouts from Liverpool and Man United have had their request for accreditation to attend academy matches at Chelsea's training ground refused. This was interpreted as a response to the departure of Rio, who United also tried to recruit to Liverpool. So he obviously went. Chelsea lost one of the best academy stars to Liverpool, a bit like Arsenal lost one of the best academy stars to Man United in the summer. The regulations state that clubs must allow scouts from other clubs to attend matches, provided the scouts give advance notice. Representatives from the 3 clubs held talks last week to try resolve the situation, but no agreement's been reached. So basically, the way I see it is Chelsea is salty that some of their academy stars, because they've got a really good talented academy, and Chelsea, you know, because of PSR and everything, they like to sell their talented academy players and make some money, but they're maybe concerned about losing them at a younger age to United and Liverpool, because if you're a Chelsea academy star and you see them just buying loads of youngsters and selling academy stars, a lot of Chelsea academy stars are a little bit like, maybe I'm better off in another pathway where the club's going to think more about my development than the profit they're going to make out of me. And Chelsea obviously lost a big player in Rio to Liverpool, and obviously United, I think, were also interested in him. That I think they're now realising they could lose out on some academy players and are banning United and Liverpool. They probably have the two biggest pools in terms of academies from going and getting their players, which they're not allowed to do, so they need to find a way around it. So they're just a little bit rattled by INEOS, I think, seeing that we got Obi Martin, seeing that we're trying to send scouts to their games. I think they're a bit concerned about that. In terms of actual transfers, it was said that Harry Maguire is unlikely to be sold by Manchester United in January, despite reports coming in that we would. I don't think he's going anywhere. Although Man United will listen to offers for Casemiro and Antony in January, I'm not expecting to get many offers for them. Lindelof, Evans, Heaton and Eriksen are all expected to leave in summer on a free. There's potential that United will listen to offers for the likes of Lindelof in January just to see if they can get any money for him, but they're not expecting it. I think they would like to sell Casemiro, Antony and Lindelof in January, bring in, a left back, bring in another winger, bring in another midfielder. Just don't see that happening. Now, let's talk about Paul Pogba. Let's talk about his interview, because he speaks out about his relationship with Mourinho, Ole, and what really happened inside United. Paul Pogba said this: "Our relationship with Mourinho was like a couple. We argued and made up all the time. It started well, and he was one of the reasons I went back to United, because he convinced me to come back. I don't know why it turned into a nightmare. It didn't start it. We didn't agree, like it happens between a manager and a player, but I have a lot of respect for him. If I see him tomorrow, I'll hug him, and one day maybe we'll sit down together and talk about it," was said by Paul Pogba. He then spoke about leaving United. He said, "The year that Jose Mourinho left and Ole came in was my best season at United, but after the game, I said to Ole and Ed, after the last game, I said to Ole and Ed Woodward that I thought it would be my last year and I wanted to leave. I was 27 at the time. It hadn't worked out the way I wanted. I gave my best, but I didn't see the club progressing," which, to be honest, is fair enough. "Manchester City and Liverpool were better than us and they were getting better, and Ole said yes to my departure and that he'd speak to Ed. I already knew that I wanted to leave, but I came back for pre-season because I wanted to be professional. I spoke to Ed to try and make things happen, but he blocked the departure. I didn't want to play for United anymore, but I had to be professional. Mentally, I wasn't there anymore, and then I had injuries." And to be honest, I don't know if we got any real offers for Pogba. The one thing I will say is, did we actually get any real and good offers for Pogba? I don't know if we did. But if Ole said he can go, Ed Woodward should have said, yeah, you can go if the right offer comes in. They should have just said to Pogba, you can go if the right offer comes in, because there's no point keeping a player at the club that doesn't want to be here, because then they're not as focused here as well. And I think Pogba was a bit misunderstood. I think he didn't want to be here because he could see that, other clubs were on a better track than us. He could see that the club was just run incredibly badly. And the manager said, yep, you can go. And then Woodward was like, nah, you can't go. If we were rejecting really fair bids for Pogba and forcing him to stay, I mean, he's got a point. I just don't know if we were really rejecting many bids for him. I don't know if there was actually that much interest that came in for him, but he did have a really good season in Ole's first year. Apparently, Eddie Howe is interested in the United job. It was said that Howe is now being linked with the United job, and Team Talk report that the English tactician could be open to accepting the approach, though it suggested that Newcastle are not worried about losing their manager. I don't see Eddie Howe leaving Newcastle. I don't see Eddie Howe going anywhere, if I'm going to be totally honest. I think he's happy at Newcastle. I don't know what the rumours are about his relationship with Dan Ashworth. Some sources suggest actually he doesn't have the best relationship with Dan Ashworth. I like Eddie Howe. I take him at United, but I don't think it's happening. I think he wants to stay put at Newcastle, and that's understandable as well. And in terms of United's 5-man shortlist to replace Ten Hag, it is Ruud van Nistelrooy, Zinedine Zidane, Kieran McKenna, Southgate and Potter. Now, Ruud van Nistelrooy I like, but only as an interim. Zidane's brilliant, but doesn't speak English, doesn't want to come. McKenna could be really good, but it's very unexperienced. Southgate, absolutely not. And Graham Potter, we could have just got him in the summer, and I think he's an all right manager, but I don't think he's going to be the one that's the perfect fit. So that's United's manager shortlist, which, to be honest, isn't the most exciting. Now, I'd like to see Alonso, I'd like to see Hoeneß, I'd like to see Amorim, I'd like to see Nagelsmann as the managers linked to United. People that are, in my opinion, truly elite, because I do think that Ten Hag will probably be sacked this season, even if it's not now, even if it's not the next international break. I have a feeling that he's going to go. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts down below. Please do hit the like button. Of course, subscribe if you're new. Thank you for watching. Bye.